Welcome to the Health Revolution. I'm Alison Burton, and my goal is to empower, enlighten, and elevate our approach to health. Since the early 1900s, mainstream medicine has primarily focused on drugs and surgery as the solutions to our health challenges. It's forgotten that our health is a result of our environment, our emotions, our lifestyle, our relationships with others, and with nature. It's also forgotten that we're vibrational, spiritual beings. I believe it's time to remember to acknowledge and to work with this invisible quantum aspect of our existence. So the health revolution is waking us up to natural, common sense approaches to health, including ancient wisdom and the magic of quantum science. It's opening our minds and exponentially expanding our options for health, healing, well-being, and happiness. Our guest today is Pascale Seiler. She's the founder and director of Intuitive World, and she's a renowned intuitive transformational light coach, a fast-track and serenity vibrational healer, trainer, author, and a radio host. Pascale possesses a unique gift to tap into people's lives through creating a direct channel with their higher wisdom that allows for miracles and transformation to occur. Pascale has a laser-like ability to channel messages with the perfect dose of love, light, and ruthless compassion. So today I want to welcome Pascale Seiler.
Welcome everyone to our episode of Health Revolution, and today again I'm talking to Pascale Seiler, and we were having a conversation a couple of weeks ago about letting go of attachment, and the role that that plays in our life, our well-being, our happiness, our stress levels, and we ended up having quite a conversation. So Pascale's already here with me. We've had a little chat already, and the conversation actually came about because I am on the verge of letting go of my business, actually the premises, letting go of the lease where I am, and I've been here for 18 years, and I think I said that it was probably about 6 years ago. Things were a bit of a struggle financially, and the thought of letting it go just absolutely brought me to tears. I was beside myself thinking of letting go of my baby. So I've got a natural health centre. I had a shop at the time selling all those beautiful things like crystals and books and candles and essential oils and all of the lovely new agey things. And I had such a powerful attachment to it all that the thought of letting it go was it was such a sense of failure and personal failure. So who am I if I'm not the director of Simply Natural Therapies, and if I don't have this shop as representing who I am? And just since then, lots of changes have occurred, and I guess I've learnt a lot, I've grown a lot. I'm always doing therapy. Had some wonderful sessions with Pascale, among other therapists. And now I am just so ready to let it go, and I know that I'm still absolutely okay, and that I'm still me without the business. So so what are absolutely your thoughts, Pascale?
So I wanted to also ask you some questions. So what do you think is changed now that you're at this point that makes the difference in how you relate to this now?
I think it was a lot of work I did around self-esteem, and of course that's always an ongoing journey, and self-identity and ego. And just recently re-listening to Eckhart Tolle's book on A New Earth, and he talks so much about ego, and a lot of my ego was tied up in the business and how it looked and what people thought. So having kind of made peace with myself now and knowing that I am absolutely okay just as I am, I don't have to have the external trimmings to be successful or to be accepted. I can just I can let it go without it threatening my identity. that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah, it does. And I see the shift in that for you yourself. I see that your identity is no longer attached to the business in a healthy way and in a wholesome way and in a good way. And actually what I would say is in a way that actually gives the business space and growth and expansion. And actually that's why I think that the business has shown up to show you that it's leaving in this form so quickly and so effortlessly, because you are so unattached and because you are so open to the business, like any other area of our life, has a particular life force inside of it.
Yes,
just
it's
like
an entity in its own right, really, isn't
right.
it?
And so when we give up our identity and we give up the attachments that we have around it, it's just like allowing our child to be who they are.
Yes.
And allowing that space to grow and be what it wants to be. And so the business is still there, but the form it takes changes. And it's because you've allowed that to happen that the business can shift and morph into something far greater, far bigger, that doesn't have to look in the way that it has been in this at this present current time.
Yeah, so it will no longer be a big bricks and mortar business, but there are so many ideas and opportunities coming to work in that bigger space, as you said, and to work online and to speak to larger audiences and that kind of thing.
And what I acknowledge you for is that about that allowing that space to take you, even though it's not all fully formed and you've got some thoughts, but we all don't, but we have to allow that allowing to take place first before it can come into form, right? And that's what I'm seeing that's different about you and about space.
Yeah, and just trusting. And I know the other thing that triggered this conversation was me talking about when I was selling the shop. And settlement was supposed to be just after, well, actually ideally before Christmas, but then January, and then that didn't happen, and we had solicitors going backwards and forwards, and I was getting so stressed about it and so attached to the outcome of, I need to sell this shop. I had suppliers who were wanting their money, and I didn't have the money till I sold the shop, and so incredibly stressful. And it wasn't until mid-March that settlement actually went through, and I could just see that pattern of the more attached I was to the outcome, the more stressed I was about it, the more I pushed it out, or the universe pushed it out.
Unless it was happening, right?
Yeah, but it's been so different this time, in that I've had that sense of faith and trust, and that the business is an entity in its own right, and what will be will be. And my lease was ending in November anyway, and I was planning to finish then. But if it happened earlier, then so be it. If I stayed till November, then so be it. So much more sense of peace. And it happened, I think I spoke to you last week, and it was, maybe that we've got a new tenant, and now, okay, I'm moving out in 2 weeks. So effortless. It's just been very, very quick.
Yeah, and I could tell by your energy and the way that you were not attached to how it happened, whether it did go through, whether it was going to be in July, that it was going to happen really fast. So it was very clear to me that it would happen very quickly because of your lack of attachment to it.
Yes, yeah. And so the interesting thing with lack of attachment, though, is there's a difference between I don't care, I'm washing my hands of it, and it's almost like, spitting the dummy, and just let whatever is going to happen. And as opposed to the feeling of, I trust that it will all unfold for the highest good of all.
Yes.
So there's sometimes lack of attachment is not such a good thing. If I was smoking 20 joints of dope every day, I would not be attached to very much other than the dough. I wouldn't care about things very much, but that's not a positive lack of attachment. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I do know what you're trying to say. And then?
And yeah, just talking with my daughter the other day, she's very invested in Facebook. She's spent a lot of time building her profile on Facebook. She's got some Facebook groups. She runs her business through Facebook. And it was probably 3 or 4 weeks ago, her account was hacked, and her friend rang her and said, Michelle, have you just joined Al-Qaeda because your Facebook page looks like you're a terrorist? And immediately Facebook shut it down, deleted her account, and everything that she'd posted, all of her photos, all of her, she'd made documents and had them in files, and she had a course online, and everything that she had, that she'd created for her business, or not everything, but a lot of the things she created for her business, had just disappeared into that big black hole of cyberspace, and she was beside herself. She was absolutely devastated. Understandably, she had to grieve. And she had a session with one of our practitioners, the beautiful Cara, and in that session she kind of shifted the way she thought about it, and she let go of the attachment. And mostly she looked at, what's the lesson in this for me? Why has the universe created this for me? What's the lesson? What can I do differently from now on? She got huge lessons from it. And then she thought, what a gift. She was addicted to Facebook. There were lots of different reasons why it was a gift for her, why it was good. So as soon as she let go, and after that session, she was just transformed. It was quite remarkable. And she was like, no, this is the plan. I'm going to let it go. I'm going to just take 3 months to hibernate, really, because it's winter here for us. And then in the spring, I'll see what I want to do about it. So she surrendered, she let go, and within 2 days her Facebook account had been reactivated and everything was back online. So the thing is, when you get the lesson, you don't need the reality of it, what we perceive as reality. We don't need that to keep going. We've got the lesson, so what's happening in the 3D world can can shift.
Yeah, absolutely. Agreed. And that's I mean, I think that example is a really good example of the fact that when she wasn't she'd already kind of reorientated herself to what she was going to do, and that she wasn't attached to what was going on. And inside of that, then, the universe gave her back that information. Whether she's going to use it now or not is a different thing, because she's learned the lesson. But the point is that, again, the lack of it, the not being attached is what made it come alive again, or come back on again, in reality. So I think the thing I want to say about like not being attached is there's laws behind it. Yes. And this is something that doesn't get mentioned. We talk about other laws that, get enforced by the government, and this is a law that we follow, but there are universal laws that exist. And that when we're in harmony with these universal laws, then things work and our life works. When we don't adhere to them and we don't embrace them, or we don't have them as things that are living, breathing entities that have our life work, then we're up against life. And life gets harder, and life can be a struggle.
Yeah, and it was so interesting after we talked about it and decided to do a Zoom call about letting go of attachment. Guess what popped up in my video? I was watching a video, and guess what popped up as the next video to watch was the Law of Detachment. It was a 60.
Okay, I didn't know about that.
No.
Part. Okay, but I'm
So
not
it was
surprised.
it was a 60-minute video on a beautiful woman talking about Deepak Chopra's book, The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. And of course, one of those is the Law of Detachment.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's really, it's about letting go of needing to control it all, and just trusting.
And that's what.
Having faith.
And that was the important part that we mentioned last time about why we wanted to talk about this, because we want people to get that, you know, when they're operating from living from control, they're getting in their own way.
Yes.
Right. You're creating opposition force here. And in times that we're living in, we want to do everything that's possible to take away the oppositional forces and be in alignment with what's happening, and to also be in flow. And the thing is, flow's not possible if we're attached, because guess what? Maybe sometimes flow wants to take us over here, but we think we've got to be here, and flow can't make that happen, right? So inside of that, then we're kind of hindering our progress. We're hindering our growth. We're not allowing our flow to take us where it wants to take us. And sometimes I think the other bit that I want to say so strongly, because people I'm seeing are getting so frustrated, like, why is this door not opening for me? Why is this job not happening for me? Why is this business not working out the way that I want to, right? And people are really up against immense, immeasurable pain inside of this. Like, it is just, you know, they're waking up every day, bang, that pain's right in front of them again, you know, like, oh my goodness, you know, why is this relationship not working for me? Why is my weight not happening? All, you know, again, but part of it is that inside of that, there's that the attachment is so strong that there's not an ability, as I said, to be able to see inside. Okay, maybe this door is not meant to be happening. Maybe this door is not meant to be opening. Okay, that could be one part about maybe if the door doesn't present itself, it's not meant to be presented. Maybe you're being protected. Maybe another door will be provided, but you've got to step back to move forward, right? But the point again is you've got to give up your notions that, you know, it's got to look a certain way. It's got to be a certain way. No, there will be a way provided, but it might look entirely different to the way that you think it's going to look. Yes. It could be in terms of the area of your life, or it could be a step in your life, or it's something you've taken on. Sometimes the things we do and the things that we work on, they're not meant to always come to fruition, like a project as well. Again, why is this project not working? Oh, blah, 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 again. But maybe this project is only meant to take us this far, and then we hop off, like we get on a car or, you know, like a van, and we hop onto something different. Now, does that make this van any less, you know, meaningful, or this experience that we had in the project any less meaningful? No, because we learned certain things in that project.
Yes, yeah, always.
Right. So some projects aren't going to take off. And this is something I want people to, you know, just like other things that we do, not everything is going to take off, but it's okay. The thing is that it's a place to jump off, right? It's a place to take off from in our growth and in our journey, right?
And like we said, it can be a launching pad rather than something anchoring you down. When you were talking about flow before, the flow trying to take you in a certain direction, I had this image of a boat with lots of anchors in different places, and so, or tied up to, you know, whatever you tie the boats to, whatever they're called, bollards. And the river trying to take the boat to its destination, but there's all these anchors and ropes holding it back. But it is, you know, the letting go of attachment, it's almost like the level 4 of manifesting, you know, the art of manifesting and the law of attraction, because we've gone through stages where we first thought we just have to picture it and it'll come, you know, what we were taught in The Secret, the movie of The Secret, that, you know, just think about an ice cream and it'll appear in your hands. And then kind of learning that as long as you have the good feeling about it, it will come. So you need to feel the feeling of the end result, and then it will come. And that doesn't always work, because sometimes that feeling that goes with that image, as you said, is not where the universe wants to take you, and not where your higher self wants to take you. And so, yeah, you need to be flexible. I'm a fan of Mike Dooley. Are you familiar with Mike Dooley? He wrote a book called...
I'm not sure. Yeah, go on.
He wrote a book called Thoughts Become Things. So that's the main thing he teaches is that, be careful of your thoughts. And so, level 2 or 3 of manifesting was, don't be too specific. Don't worry about the detail. Just focus on the feeling that you want. So, you want contentment, you want happiness, you want health and well-being. So focus on that, and then let the universe guide you to that. And he said that he talks about, I can't remember the exact details, but a woman who was looking for a partner. She wanted to manifest the perfect man. And the more specific she got, the more the universe was kind of scratching its head thinking, okay, where am I going to find him? So she wanted someone who, she had a boyfriend that had blue eyes. That all went wrong. So he's not allowed to have blue eyes. And then, okay, he's not allowed to have blonde hair. He's not allowed to have dark hair. He's not allowed to be European. He's not allowed to be, she just got so much detail. He's not allowed to be under 5'10", and just so many details. Every time she made a decision of what she didn't want, the pool that the universe had to choose from was getting narrower and narrower and narrower and narrower and narrower until, okay, well, there's this one man that's going to suit her. So he lives in, wherever, England. Okay. She lives in America. How am I going to get them together? So the universe has to work so hard for you to get what you specifically want, whereas it could have created a relationship, that ideal relationship, out of a much larger pool, much more easily.
True. I mean, that's exactly, that's one, that's one possibility. You're right. That's one possibility. I think I would also say that there's different laws that apply with the law of detachment. You were talking about how this relates to that, the law in the book and seeing it on the video. But I think we are at a much bigger pivotal level around it. I think the level at which that operates in our life, the frequency, the vibration, and the importance of letting that go is so important, because I think the lack of attachment or detachment is now operating also inside of letting go. And letting go is at a much higher frequency, because sometimes, people put things out to the universe and we don't even know the how.
Yes.
We don't know how, or the journey it's going to come with.
Right? And you also don't necessarily know or need to know the what is at the end.
Yeah, right, as well. Correct.
So so what Mike Dooley says, his level of manifesting is you think about the what and how you want to feel, and let the universe worry about the how you get from here to there. So he says, don't worry about the cursed hows. But the next level, so, post-grad is total surrender.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
Guide me, work through me, for the universe, or tingles as I say that. Yes. Your higher self, your wisdom, love and light to just actually work through me. Use my body, and I will embody whatever it is that the universe wants and go where it wants me to go.
And that's where I'm flowing. That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Okay. That ultimate level of, what I call marrying the God's will with my will. And it's a very, very different journey, because inside of that you're surrendering to something much higher. So we go from giving up attachment to surrendering, and they go together. They make possible, if you take it that much further and that much higher, then ultimately you're putting your life and the way your life will look into the universe's hands.
Yes. Yeah.
And so then you're waiting for certain cards to be dealt. And so it's a very different energy and frequency, because inside of it, he might say, hold on a minute, it's on my timing here. And he might keep saying, you got to stay a little bit more patient here. And you're thinking, what? No, but, you know, like, no, you know, you've got to wait, right? And it could be he's getting you to wait for something. He's, you know, that soulmate love or that twin flame love that he's bringing you. It might, but those things are big. These aren't small things.
Yes.
These are not small things.
It's not just, manifesting a new bike.
No. It could be like birthing your whole life again. And in many places with where we're at right now, I would say like that's where a lot of people are, you know, in that level of like, okay, it's going to be something completely different. So, you know, it could be asking you to go somewhere physically much further, right, than you were previously asked to go. But if you put your mind into that and say, oh, no, I can't, you know, I can't do that. I can't, blah, blah, then you're missing out. Yeah. You know, just like I knew I was guided to come to Melbourne to be with you and to see you and to take all of that on, right? Most people wouldn't do that. They'd be like, what? You don't, you know, at that point it was purely trust. You know, I knew Nadia, then I, you know, and then,
that's right. Yes.
And the whole birthing of that, right? And you trusted in the connection with me, and we did it, and we made it happen. And then all of a sudden, you know, I was in Melbourne, and I came twice, and I was there for pretty much a month both times, January and March, right? But the point was that I felt so guided. And, you know, the next step was like, okay, now take yourself and go to Melbourne and do this and do that and do this. And, you know, I came out, and you're in a suburb of Melbourne. That's the other thing to say, like, you're in a suburb of Melbourne, right? You're not in the city center. You have to drive out 50. Exactly. So there were a whole bunch of things that needed to happen, right? Yeah. But that was the journey.
But it also, and it all flowed so beautifully.
I know.
I was a bit gobsmacked.
Yeah, but my point is, like, that's what's on offer. That's what's available for everybody, right? Yeah. Everyone's got that kind of experience to have happen, whatever it is, whether, like you said, waiting to, you know, have this interaction with, maybe you're in 2 different parts of the world, and then maybe you're on lockdown yet. Okay, maybe it's not meant to open up yet, but it doesn't mean it won't. Yes. Okay, don't think it's not going to. That's what I want to say to those people right now who are maybe flailing and thinking, oh, you know, I'm losing that motivation and that belief. Yeah,
and I think because we've learned to work so hard to manifest the vision that we have, and, you know, what's on our vision board, and people have to unlearn that, really.
Yes.
Don't they? Yes. I mean, it was a perfect step along the way. But it's time now to unlearn that, and to not feel as if, you know, you're not working hard enough at it if it hasn't happened, but to just have that mindset shift that, okay, it's not meant to happen now. I love Matt Kahn's work. He's got 3 books. I haven't read them all. Are you familiar with Matt Kahn? Yeah.
No. It's good because I'm learning about new people.
Okay. Yeah, so I sometimes say if Eckhart Tolle and Wayne Dyer had a baby, it would be Matt Kahn.
Oh, wow. Okay, beautiful. A beautiful combination. Wow.
And another of his, one of Matt's a friend and also a spiritual teacher is Kyle Seiler. So he's great too. So Matt Kahn's books, you don't actually need to read the books to get the meaning of what he's on about. His first book is, I think it was Whatever Happens, Love That. Whatever arises, love that.
Perfect.
Second,
get straight away when you say it. Okay, go on. And then
the second one, I might have them around the wrong way, but the next one was Everything is Here to Help You.
Nice. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
And so the first one, whatever arises, so whatever arises within you, love that. So it's
Yeah.
the angry part,
Yeah.
the distressed part, the traumatized,
Okay.
the wounded part.
Mhm.
Hold loving space for that part of you.
Yes, right.
That was beautiful. So I have read that one.
Okay.
Everything's here to help you. And then the last, the most recent one, I think, unless he's written one since, is the universe has a plan.
Perfect. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
and I think this is so important what you're bringing. Yeah.
Sorry?
I said it's so important what you're bringing up about the universe has a plan. What does he say about that? What does he say
I
about
haven't read that one yet, but it is that. Yeah, it's that idea that, again, whatever arises, it's part of the plan.
Correct.
And so, if you're delayed on the way to work, there's a plan so that you actually miss that accident that's down the road.
Yes.
So
and this is the part that I love, because it reminds me of that movie. There's a movie that I love where they keep having to not meet each other because they're on a journey to get to the point where they'll meet.
Okay.
And they leave little notes and things, but then they miss it, and and then something gets left, and then they get guided to the place where they eventually meet. So exactly. So sometimes it's delays and it's prevention. So it's like, you're avoiding kind of getting killed or hurt or goodness knows what else. But sometimes it's also so that a meeting will occur between you and somebody that you hadn't foretold or foreseen.
Yeah.
That maybe wasn't on your radar, right?
Yeah.
So it's a heaven-sent meeting. Yeah.
That's the universe coordinating those synchronicities.
And I want to say that at the present time, for me, it's really interesting, because also I guess people are like, oh, but it's so much more difficult now. You can't meet people in person right now, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, you have to think broader. You have to think much broader. You can always meet people regardless, and universe will keep sending you people. It'll just be, again, in a different form, might be virtually. You might get on a call with something that you think, oh, that'd just be, maybe the topic interests you, or you might think you might have a mutual interest, and then somehow or another you're being partnered together for some reason, because there's some, again, coherency or resonancy. But again, you have to be open to that and not think, oh, I'm not gonna meet anybody. No, you can meet somebody in all sorts of different ways. And at the moment, I would say to people, also be mindful that you can meet people virtually.
Yeah, of course.
So again, I think that's a testament to the universe will send it to you no matter what.
Yeah, it will find a way.
Yes, and I think that's the part that blows my mind, if I'd be really honest. I mean, I know it always does blow our mind, but, when the situations, or you could say, the chips are down, or the times seem like even that much higher, or, people are experiencing personal crisis, that a way will be found, and a way is found, and it's normally just around us. It's not like all the way over there. It's right here, right now, like in our space. But we've got to give up. We have to give up that stress. We have to give up that stressing. Oh, why don't I have the answer? Why don't I know this? No. It's all we've got to calm ourselves down, because if we are not calm enough to perceive it, then we won't see it. And then
that's right. Yeah. When your head's full of that stress and the busyness and the trying, you don't get that guidance, do you?
No, you're just blocked. You're blocked off, and you're not. Just all different things are going on with yourself, right? And then the other thing is, you're so and don't get me wrong, I mean, I've been there to talk about it. It's because you've broken out of it and you've experienced it. No, it's not the way. But the point is that when you're so in your own space and you're so in your own head, then you're missing it. You're missing gems that are going on around you that are being sent. They're being heaven sent. It could be a nudge, it could be a word, or it could be something you need to see in an email, right? But your mind's just been going off with whatever it is that's been going off. You miss it. right? Maybe that's something that there's a message in it there for you. Like, if you wake up every day, there's like a million and more messages that we get every day to support us, whether it's written, text, seen, outside of ourselves, a sunset, nature, a bird, a video to watch that gets sent to us, whether directly or in our inbox, you know. And again, you know, people get frustrated with, you know, especially at this time when lots of people are sending emails.
Yes.
And I would say to you, you know, be again discerning with your inbox, okay? Because again, it's to do with what you're consciously bringing in and what you're bringing out. And actually, I've been very diligent at this time to be deleting a lot of things. And again, people are like, deleting? I'm like, well, imagine everything you're getting attached to is also electronic form, and more so now than ever. And we don't make room and space for things to come in if we don't delete it, you know? So I'm like, no, time to let it go so new things can flow and come in. But then the point is, when you get things that do come in, and that's what I'm saying, and then you see it, and then you quickly start to notice, okay, I'm meant to hear this message from this person. I'm meant to hear this person. These things that these people are saying, it's actually a lot of noise. Like, I'm not that really interested to listen to that. And, you know, you can unsubscribe to it. So again, voices, you know, we don't have to allow ourselves to be bombarded with things that we think, oh I must do it. I must do it. You have to ask yourself, really, am I committed to that or not really? Well, then get rid of it, because that's something, again, that overstimulating your space, you know.
And you'll know it's right when you have that feeling, that light, feeling that attracts you to it. A colleague I was talking to the other day said he gets a lot of messages, but he was looking at his list of text messages, and there was one that just, the energy of it was just so powerful. It was like it was standing out in bold font. They're all the same, but he just was totally drawn to that one. So he looked at that one, and it was exactly what he needed at the time, the opportunity that he needed at the time, and everything from that email, that one message, he followed that up, and it's transformed his life.
Oh, I love that. I love it.
So he is a very spiritual guy, and his mind was clear enough, and he was tuned in enough to tune into the energy of those messages, and and we can, and like we said last time, we really need to be able to tune into our intuition. Don't leave home without it.
Oh God, yeah, absolutely. Goodness, yes, exactly, because exactly that's our guiding compass. You know, I have a practice now that's been a new one as well, where, like, I call it our inner genius. Okay, it's not just our intuition; it's our inner genius. And so I make sure that the phone is kept in the other space and in the other room. So I go to it and use it when I need to use it, but certainly not have it in my space next to me to wake me up in the morning, because what that does is it severs that connection to your inner genius. Because when you're getting up, you're having all these thoughts and ideas about what to do, and then it continues. You go to the shower, and then you get tons of things coming to you in the shower. Oh, okay, well, I should reach out that to the person. Oh, I've got that idea. Maybe I'll create something around that, or maybe I'll make a course out of that. Or so it's your most creative time. And if you have your phone there, it completely kills it off.
Yeah, it hijacks your thinking, doesn't it?
Yeah, completely. And at this time, more than ever, where people, especially creative people, are, you know, having to come up with new solutions and new breakthroughs and new ideas.
Do things differently.
I'd say that, you know, I'm super protective of that, what I call like inner genius time and space, even more so, because that will guide my actions and my prompts and the things that I want to work on in the day. I might modify slightly, but in general, it, you know, if that space is not kept sacred or kept free, then it's going to be tainted with the other things, and then you're not going to be a space to hear it.
Mm.
So I can't stress enough the important. Well, I mean, if people are able to access their inner genius in a different way, I would love to know it, love to hear about it. But for me personally, I think it's an amazing, important practice to keep your phones and out of your space when you're thinking to kind of create your day and take action from it.
Yeah, especially at the moment when so much that you'll see on your phone is about COVID and so negative and so
It's
divisive. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all things. It's all things, you know, because it's been proven already, like, you know, the minute that people do that, and, you know, well, the biggest one is people go in and they check their email. So imagine what you've just done to your inner genius the minute you've done that. Like you've just completely, you know, imploded your inner genius with all stress by, you know, by setting yourself up with your day that way. Oh no, it's not, you know, so you're basically starting off from a much lower bench point.
Yeah.
Is the point, you know?
A lower vibration.
A lower, and then you're having to bring, you know, trying to lift yourself up from that space, and you've just woken up. So I'm like, oh no, it's not, I wouldn't advise it. I wouldn't, no. Because that your first kind of hour is sacred in many ways anyway, for how you're setting up your day. I add the inner genius part to it, but, you know, for a lot of people, they need to get up and they need to set up their, they want to go meditate, or they want to, you know, prime for the day anyway. So you can't do that if you've got, you know, your phone there. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, I think it was a Doreen Virtue book that they were talking about where the angels like to hang out. And they like to hang out in those high vaults in churches, and they were asked why. They were asked why, and they said because in church people's minds are quiet, and then they can hear us better.
Yes, exactly. I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
All right, it's been lovely chatting with you, and I hope anyone who's watching here, enjoyed it, and thanks for sharing the time with us. And we will see you next time.
Yeah. Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.